Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I just read Gothghul Hollow by Anna Stevens, and well, there's a lot to talk about. So the premise of the book is pretty basic. Gothghul Hollow is under attack by a quote-unquote mysterious monster of unidentifiable origin that drains people of their blood. The noble family of this village then tries to get rid of the monster to stop it from killing more people, while also solving the mystery of Murghast, a word that keeps popping up everywhere where trouble is brewing. Our band of heroes consists out of Edria, a closeted and rebellious girl with an affinity for dead magic, and never having been allowed to leave the castle much, she is eager for adventure and excitement. Arik, Edria's father, who has first-hand seen the horrors of the world as a free guild soldier, and more importantly has seen the dangers of his daughter's magic during a tragic accident involving her mother, who was also a potent dead wizard. Runar, a big strong mercenary dude with an even bigger gun, and then finally Tiberius, a priest and friend to the family who has also served in the free guilds. Now the first weird thing about the novel is the writing style, which starts off horrendously shit with extremely overly long and complex sentences. Unnecessary metaphors that made little sense and awkward grammatical constructions, but then about a third into the novel all of these problems just disappear. I'm glad, but I'm also very curious about why that happened. The novel then transitions into a Twilight-like story where there's some magical elements mixed with some extremely predictable and cliché character interaction. I mean, really, the closeted rebellious teenager drooling over the brooding muscular outsider, and the naive girl versus the overprotective father. Could you get any more cliché than that? Now, this wouldn't necessarily have been a big problem, but the novel spends a huge amount of time talking about the feelings of all the characters, and because all of their interactions and personalities are just so uninteresting and generic, it just becomes a boring slogfest. Regardless, the novel then yet again goes through a miraculous improvement, as we get a series of flashbacks about Edria's mother. From that moment on, the novel starts to lean much more into the horror and mysterious elements of its story, and after forcing myself through the sleep-inducing first half, I actually found the second half to be very captivating. That also brings me to the biggest highlight of the novel, and that is the impressive amount of thought and attention given to the magic systems of the book. Every ritual, every potion, and every spell is wonderfully described and fleshed out. Maybe it's just that I'm a bit of a sim for logical magic systems, but I found all the explanations of magic in this book very enjoyable, and the way everything logically fitted together very satisfying. What wasn't logical, however, was that our characters don't seem to know anything about the setting they are in. I mean, the fact that they shoot a creature with normal bullets and it manages to survive completely blows our characters' minds. Let me remind you, they are living in a setting with golden space marines made of magic, demons of every kind, and sharks that can swim through magical water air. In a realm ruled by an unkillable god of death where vampires, ghosts, and bone golems rule most of the territory. I personally would be rather surprised if something did actually die after I shot it with a gun. But just in general, the novel doesn't really seem to care much about the setting that it's in. Outside of the people cursing with Nagash instead of God, and the fact that the sky is purple instead of blue, this book could easily have taken place in any other fantasy setting. There are no mentions of any non-humans or magical elements that you would expect from an Age of Sigmar novel. It's a bit weird that the novel doesn't really utilize any of the innovative elements of Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar, especially since the rest of the story is so generic. I think it really could have used some Warhammer spice. But the biggest grievance of all is the ending, which I can already guarantee you will piss a lot of people off, including myself. So there's two problems with the ending. The first one is that the mystery that we spend the entire novel talking about isn't at all solved. Instead, the ending transformed the entirety of the novel into a setup for another story or possibly a sequel. This has been a recurring trend in many Age of Sigmar releases, which completely sucks, as we have about 5 million setups in Age of Sigmar currently and none of them seem to be explored any further. Maybe this book will be an exception, but still, it feels a bit cheap to just end your book on such a dumb cliffhanger. The second one I can't talk about without spoiling who it is, but basically this book has another dumb name drop, just like Covens of Blood had. Let's go to the rating first, and I'll talk more about this reveal after the rating, for those who don't care about the spoilers. All in all, I'm giving this book 3 to 5 mysteriously unidentifiable monsters. The second half of the book is extremely captivating and the flashbacks in that part were very good. Sadly, the first half of the book kinda sucks, the characters are absurdly generic, and the ending is extremely frustrating. If it wasn't for all the wonderful magic descriptions, I'd have given it 2 stars, but I'm going with 3 for now. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk about the name drop, so tune away if you don't want to know it. 3, 2, 1. Fucking Genevieve, the fucking vampire, is back. Yeah, what the actual fuck. I can't get over how cheap this is. Name dropping a fan favorite Warhammer Fantasy character completely developed by a different author who isn't even associated with Black Library anymore, just to sell some extra copies. Not just does this further increase concerns that Age of Sigmar lore team can't come up with anything else than rehashing Warhammer Fantasy lore, but Stephens also manages to butcher her character within 5 fucking pages. Genevieve now not only talks as if she's Shakespeare, but her motivation for helping humanity to combat Drakenfels, who conveniently is also resurrected, is that if he kills all humans, she won't be able to feed anymore. Seriously, the heroine of the Genevieve series has been reduced to, oh well, I need food, so let's save humanity. So yeah, you might understand that I'm really fucking salty about this. Well anyway, that's all I got for you today.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.